So many of them are speculations. And if there's an interesting description in somebody else's web page, which could be fake, people like it and they just bring it into their own web page and write as if it belongs to his opinion, his originality. And sensational, interesting subject always copied. So it's almost like if there's 20, 30 people talking about the same thing, that probably is a bloody lie. This is a situation of the web page. Twitter is worse. Because it's easier, short, brief message. And I know one stupid truth on the Twitter, I believe. We at the KEK are specialists in particle physics related to radiation, although we do not handle any nuclear power. The amount of nuclear radioactive materials practically is none. Because we turn the power on, we have the thing. Except we can't use that much electricity just tuning up or testing equipment. So we do have some radioactive materials. Most test type radioactive nuclear reactors would carry about 10 tons of fuel, which is not very much because that's a heavy stuff, so it fits in the small corner. All right, that's not very much of nuclear fuel. But in comparison to this 10 tons, our laboratory have about total 3 kilograms. Just about the weight of beef steak you eat in one evening. However, general public do not recognize this difference. Those are the evil people who handle the radiation. So they don't trust us. So what happened around was that because our laboratory is not really working, only a very small number of people are working, and most of them are staying at home. So some rumor says that since they can measure the radioactivity very precisely, so they must know something because other public servants, governments are working, laboratories are working. And only the people who knows how to measure the radioactivity are away from the laboratory. So some concluded that there must be a big disaster coming. Now, we just don't get enough electricity. In fact, for the whole week, as I said, we are out of water, out of electricity, and I've been working without heating, without room light. I was permitted to turn on only the laptop computer. This is a reality. But here, the rumor says the KEK should know some fact and there is something fishy going on. That's bloody lie. If I know, I wouldn't come here and talk. I'll be away in Hawaii. So one thing I really want to tell you is that the general rumor, which appeared to be very persuasive, logical, could be a bloody lie. What we can trust is facts, I'm repeating. So don't get into panic because of bloody lies or make-up or speculations. Please, because we do not want any extra hassle. Because that the gasoline goes down, that everybody buys the gasoline, therefore the people in the refugee under the freezing temperature in the refugee camp are not even getting the heat. And their houses are destroyed. So that rumor can do much more damage. All right, message given. Fine, next stage. Now here, we have fortunately suns and stars and everything. Right? You remember sun? All right. That's a huge hydrogen bomb, basically, which produces tremendous amount of heat and lots of elementary particles flying in. And also, all the stars are basically the same, therefore they produce radioactive things, basically so-called elementary particles, flying all over the universe, which naturally arrives to here, right? The amount we get, so-called cosmic radiation, is 0.24 millisievert per year. Now here we already have milli unit. But later we are going to talk about micro, which is 1,000th of this, much, much smaller. All right, here, we are exposed this much so that if you live on Earth for 1 year, you get 0.24 millisievert. I don't think you are younger than 1 year old. So you multiply your age, how much you have got already, okay? Now, terrestrial radiation. Now, from the ground, there are lots of radioactive materials. I know that the US families have lots of radioactive gases seeping out to the air, and some houses accumulate those, and they can be at a very dangerous level, which some of them do not know about. So naturally, unless you leave this place to moon or something which have less chance of radioactivity, you have this much, 0.28 millisievert per year. So totaling already a 0.5 millisievert per year. This is how much you get naturally. And you have to think about this because radiation produces irregularity in your cell. And this probably accelerated the development of creatures. That because of the DNA is modified by the radiation and all those, so that you get new species. And if we did not have those around, we probably are below amoeba state even today. So let's look at the realities. Now, these are the numbers I pulled out from the web pages. I believe they are reliable. Can you see this with this? Maybe I can, you know. Oh, that doesn't work. Sorry about that. That doesn't work.
No problem.
All right. One chest X-ray mammogram causes 3 millisievert. It's the accumulative, total. All right? If you take one picture, if you get 5 pictures taken, well, multiply by 5. So you get the 3 times number of pictures taken millisievert. Now, chest CT scan is worse. Depends on how they did it. And also how far. I mean, you know, it scans and small amount or all through the body. So they vary from 6 to 18 millisievert. And recently, it seems to be popular. I mean, when I was a kid, this never happened. But dental radiography to see the condition of your teeth, that also give this much. So, now, smoking 1.5 packs a day gives you a whoopee 13 millisievert per year. Now, this came from some research paper. Because you inhale into the lung and that thing stays so that the biological effect is equivalent. And this is a big number, all right? 30 millisieverts per year. And then I found this interesting. Eating one banana would be 0.001 millisievert. But suppose you eat 100 bananas a month. And then you live 100 years. Gosh, that's going to be killing. Right? So one thing, the message is that the nuclear power station is not the only source of the radiation, and we have lived with it, and that's a natural condition. Yes?
Yes, I have a question, because I checked the data for chest X-ray, it's much smaller than this value. They said 10 times X-ray is the same as the radiation 1 year you received from.
Okay, I'm clearly stating that this I got from where?
Yes.
All right, I am a physicist, but I'm not the radiation health type person. So each of them, I'm trying to give you from as much reliable source as possible with cross-check. I could be wrong, but I'll tell you the source, okay? But factor of 10 is still not small number.
Yes.
And how many times do you take a picture? I mean, you know, when you have a program, like I've been keep getting hit by a car from behind, I'm sure there's somebody trying to do this. Each time I have to go through X-rays. I've got lots of those. That's the reason my face becomes this way.
But in that dose, I'm wondering if the operating doctor is very dangerous for the, like X-ray check.
That's the reason that the person who pressed the button is away into well-shielded lead glass box.
Okay.
They know the business, and if they have to be exposed the same amount, they would move to some other job. All right? All right, next one, please. Now, here's the number announced on television, has been cited and talked by the engineer on the spot of this Fukushima nuclear accident, which is 400 millisievert per hour, right? Which is huge number. But this is right at the reactor. Right at the reactor, at the worst peak. And this did not stay that high for a long time. It's something like when you overeat and you do the gassing. The smell is only a few minutes and then it goes away. Basically the same thing that nuclear power station burped. So, yes.